This book is about a new way to look at organizations, a way that's based on people's energy and vitality and their power to act. And it's about the kind of leadership which we're calling navigator. A navigator is willing to think the unthinkable. A navigator is willing to make unreasonable requests of others. George Bernard Shaw said that all progress depends on the unreasonable man and the unreasonable woman. A navigator is willing to make unreasonable requests of others in order to produce something different. If you see it as your job to inspire others to what they're capable of, not just what they can already do, those are the kinds of things that would indicate that you're a navigator, that you have the courage and the clarity and the humanity to go for something beyond what's already possible. Well, just about everybody has a bottom line mentality. And when the bottom line is physical, like money or profit, it automatically makes social responsibility, employee welfare, human happiness, a world that works, secondary. Not that they won't do it, but it's instrumental and in service to the making of money. And then you get all the good-hearted folk in nonprofits and social organizations whose senior commitment is social. It's not material. They make a great social contribution, but they don't make a material contribution. And somehow the problems we've got in the world that keep going on, that have to do with cooperation, that have to do with producing extraordinary financial or other kinds of results, require both. Well, all organizations are dysfunctional. Some are more dysfunctional than others. Whenever people do anything, it gets to be dysfunctional. Well, it's possible to start your thought process in the past, which is what we usually do. We think about what we already know, and we think from that. We say, well, this is now going to happen because I already know that. Or you can start your thinking in the present. Now I'm sitting here, listening to you and talking to you and inventing what to say based on my present experience. But you can also put your mind out into the future. You can imagine anything you want if your imagination isn't suppressed. Most folks, most of the time, their imagination is really, really small because they want to look good, because they don't want to lose their sense of who they are, because they're not in communication, because they don't want to get dominated by what might happen, because they're afraid of what might happen. The main tyranny over our minds is our own mind. It's the box we're in, that we think in. This book is about getting outside that box, imagining the future from the future, not constrained by what you already know, and then building a bridge from that future back to the present. What's the code you need to follow? Organizations that do really, really well, the SAS, or the U.S. Marines, or Disney, or Nordstrom's, or Kenyon Ranch in Tucson, they have a code. They have an ethical code, and they have a business code, they have a behavioral code, and they are really, really dedicated to being in service, and they're really there to make money. Noble purpose captures the heart and the mind. Material purpose, outcome purpose, largely captures the mind and in some degree the heart. If you want to have a successful organization, a successful project, what you really want to do is capture people's minds and capture people's hearts. And normally, because we have either or minds, it's either the business of business is business, and the business of social organizations is to do noble purposes. All right? These ideas in the book, most of these ideas are not new. What's important is to mobilize that small percentage of the population who's willing to take it on, to connect them to one another, and to move forward. And the truth is that most of the people that this will appeal to, they already know this. And this book is an attempt to give them the confidence to rise up and act that way.